Okay, welcome back to another MTGO league. This time playing another league with Temnur Footfalls. This is a deck list pretty much straight from the modern super qualifier over the weekend. Piloted to a 9th place finish by, I think their modo name is Hauterho. You can find it on Goldfish, I'm sure. They've actually put a very handy sideboard guide up on their Twitter as well, so I'll link everything in the description below. I think the only changes I had to make was they were running an extra Force of Vigor instead of one Mystical Dispute, but this deck is absurdly expensive on mana traders, so I had to make a slight change there. But other than that, the changes from the last iteration, I've seen a few people moving towards this kind of list. So it's very similar, but it's cutting some of the kind of more high-end control-y cards for some more quicker kind of interaction. So you lose the Cryptics and the Jaces. You get to play 2 Dead Gone, which is really good against things like there's so much Ragavan and such. So it's an answer to those. You get to play 3 Prismari commands, just a good one. It's another answer to something like Chalice of the Void or Void Mirror. And then we're playing 4 Fury in the Subtlety slot. So yeah, deal 4 damage across several creatures and planeswalkers. Seems pretty good. And then yeah, we got the 6 Force of Vigors and Endurances. Change the Anger of the Gods to some Fire Spouts. I guess just a little bit easier on the mana. Also, actually, I think the key probably here is this pitches to Force of Vigor, whereas Anger of the Gods doesn't. And then we've got the Blood Moons and Mystical Disputes as well. So yeah, I'll post all that information that I managed to find today down in the description, and yeah, let's get into it. Hope everyone's doing well wherever you are watching from today. Please do consider subscribing to the channel if it's something you're enjoying. Play a lot of mid-range content here, so if that's the kind of thing you enjoy, definitely think about giving us a subscribe. And yeah, let's get into round number 1. Considering taking this well, I think I'm pretty locked in taking this to my first real bigger paper tournament since the pandemic. That will be this weekend. So hoping to get some practice in. So if anyone's got any tips or suggestions, please do let me know in the comments. I think we're going to keep this. We're on the draw, but we've got early interaction with Fury. We've got some forces. And then we do have a Cascader as well. So that's the kind of thing you want, really. Early interaction. And then a way to make rhinos. Opponent's mulligan to 5. So it could be... Okay, I think we're going to just force this. And we'll... what do we get rid of? So it's Prismari Command or Force. I think we're going to get rid of Force. No, I think at this point we'll get rid of the command. I think I'm more afraid of yeah, I want to be able to counter future things. Okay, we draw another force. So we are going to want to find another land. This could be E-Tron. We'll let Sphere resolve. Okay, so opponent would have had Tron. We will force something like a Sylvan Scrying, I think. go and get the triome here. Really want to see that third land. Okay, our opponent just having a natural Tron there. Okay, nothing to do with it though. I think what we're going to do with this, I think we'll just go and grab a Steam Vents. I think we're just going to stomp our opponent, to be honest. Like, I can't see Stomp doing much more. Right, show me a land. Yes, that's exactly what we wanted. So we can now force. We'll have to decide whether we want to. We'd have to decide whether we want to force Pitch Force and Violent Outburst. Blast Zone. Okay, so I mean, no, we're going to force this. Are we force Pitch Force? I think so. Or do we want to hold on to another force? So if we go or if we Pitch Force, we can then make Rhinos. We attack for 8. My opponent's not quite dead. Whereas if we don't make it, I think we're going to go for it. I think, yeah, please, this is one I'm really not sure about. Please do let me know in the comments if you'd have done something different there. But I think my line here is I want to get the clock going. You know, my opponent's only got 2 cards in hand. We don't want to give them as few draws as possible. One way forward would have been to let the Ugin come down and then attack it, but we haven't got. So Ugin would go to 9 after bolting us, but then it only has to -0 to take care of our Rhinos. So Prismari Command is actually a pretty good draw. Yeah, because that's the burn we need. Plus it's holding up interactive spells. So that is lethal next turn. I think we're just going to play Bone Crusher though. Is there any reason to hold up Prismari Command? If our opponent has another Ugin or something, let's get lethal on the table and hope our opponent doesn't have. This way we now beat Wormcoil Engine. Yeah, we don't beat that, unfortunately. Okay, that's pretty good though. So here goes O-Stone. Yeah, maybe. I don't think we could have played around that all that well. Okay, so we're now just going to hold up. We'll flash in Brazen Borrower. We could consider drawing some cards. Opponent's at 10. So yeah, we're just going to go for kind of getting the reach here. Okay, Violent Outburst is nice. So opponent is now dead next turn, potentially. And then I think they're going to put some counters on Blast Zone, but that's fine. As long as our opponent doesn't find... We beat Wormcoil Engine because we can kill it before it deals damage. Ulamog is harder. I think we're okay now. Yeah. I can't see this deck running any instant speed. We would like to make some more rhinos, please. So opponent can blast zone away the Brazen Borrower, but then the two rhinos do get there. Yeah, so I've played around Wormcoil engine so much before. If let's say my opponent plays a Wormcoil engine here, we bait the rhinos and then go to combat attack, and then before damage is dealt, we can kill the Wormcoil so it doesn't deal damage and gain the life. Although there it would have been a bit sketchy because we would have lost the Brazen Borrower, so we could have killed the Wormcoil engine, dealt my opponent 2, and then I guess try and burn my opponent out. But yeah, that's so this is E-Tron. Just going to consult the sideboard guide. It's possibly not in there. Tron has really fallen out of favour a little bit at the moment. Yeah, as expected, not one, but there was E-Tron, and I think we'll have to, I think it's fairly straightforward actually. So we're going to bring in the Blood Moons and the Forces. Dead and Gone doesn't really do anything for us. They suggested taking out Bonecrusher Giant against E-Tron. I wonder if Fury is the better take. Just not dealing with much. We'll cut a couple of Furies. I think I'd rather cut both Furies. Something like that. Yeah, let's go with that. Obviously, we've got the potential to turn 2 Blood Moon with Gemstone Caverns. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so that is a Blood Moon and Force of Vigor. If one of these Blood Moons was another land, this would be actually probably the best we could do against Tron. We've got 2 looks at a land, but it's nearly worth it, but I think we're going to mulligan. This is okay. We will keep it. We'll bottom. What are we going to put on the bottom? So Fire Ice is weirdly good because we can tap down their Tron lands. We'll keep this. Do we want to just get rid of a Footfalls? It is our only turn 1 play. But it comes off on turn 5 when the game is possibly over already. We've got a lot of draws. We could consider bottoming a land, because we're going to be redrawing with Fire Ice all the time. Yeah, I don't mind that actually. Yeah, let's get rid of a basic mountain. Keep all the spells, because we're going to be using these Fire Ices really aggressively. Okay, so we've got blue, so this needs to be red-green really. So yeah, let's go and grab that. And we'll suspend a Footfalls. Okay, so then the plan is to Fire Ice, tapping my opponent's Tron lands to hopefully cut them off mana. Ancient Stirrings. Of course, my opponent can still could still potentially cast something like a Khan the Great Creator if we tap down one of these. Okay, maybe bottoming that land. That's one of the worst draws in our deck, sadly. So yeah, we're just going to ice one of these in my opponent's upkeep. Wouldn't say no to a land. It's not a land. Do they have Tron? They do not have Tron. They do now have Tron. Okay, we do hit the land, which is nice. So I think we're still going to go with Fire Icing our opponent's Yeah, let's we'll ice the mine again. Opponent could have Veil of Summer. Okay, so I have a lot of mana here. Yeah, that is a Karn, which is a tad unfortunate. Probably go and get... Okay, they get Chalice, but we can destroy Chalice. We've got the out to Chalice of the Void. Okay, map as well. See. So we can deal Karn 2 damage, kill Chalice. Okay, Force is actually really good. Okay, so what's the play here? We could stomp Karn and then bounce Chalice. No, I think I think we're just gonna. So yeah, we do have a couple of options here. We could stomp Karn and bounce Chalice, but then our opponent might find more of these. But they could. We definitely need to kill this or take this down, because then we get Rhinos next turn. So I think it's command, kill Chalice, hit Karn for 2. Or we could command, kill Chalice, make a treasure. And we've got 2 mana to potentially Brazen Borrower or Bone Crusher. I think we're just going to want to get the most use out of our spell, so we'll deal 2 damage and destroy an artifact. Worth noting that I'm doing this main phase to minimize the opportunity. I should have probably suspended another Footfalls there. Yeah, just to prevent my opponent having play around Veil of Summer, essentially. Okay, that's fine. I mean, Veil of Summer is pretty brutal anyway, because they're going to get to counter our Force. Could be another Karn. We probably... Sylvan Scrying's fine. At this point, my opponent's got so much mana. Okay, it looks like our opponent doesn't necessarily have anything to do. So we do now get to make some Rhinos, and then we will kill Karn with the Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, so we've drawn another Shardless Agent, but I think we're happier just stomping Karn. Yeah, there's no reason to do that main phase. Okay, we will now stomp Karn. Yeah, I wanted to see if our opponent would use the map. Okay, so we've got Force for something like a Planeswalker or an O-Stone. Ulamog's what we're really afraid of. Okay, so we could let that resolve and then shardless next turn. What do we think of that? No, I think we're going to force that. And oh, do we get rid of? I think we're just going to get rid of shardless here because we can play Bone Crusher next turn. Veil of Summer really gets us here, as does something like a follow-up Ugin. Okay, opponent doesn't have it. Not sure. They must just have lands in hand. Oh, another Force is an amazing draw. Yeah, so we'll attack here. And we will play Bone Crusher. I think our opponent will put the Blast Zone up to kill it is the only thing. Would we rather? I think we'd rather just hold up actually. Again, possibly should have suspended Footfalls, but yeah, opponent is putting some counters on. Yeah, afraid of Brazen Borrower, I guess. Okay, more land for our opponent. Wormcoil isn't too annoying. Yeah, we'll just counter this normally. Okay, so ooh, what do we think about that? I mean, yeah, that's probably something we want to think about doing. Yeah, I think we're going to go for that. It just shuts off so many outs from my opponent. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we're just trying to shut off as many outs as we can now, really. Probably go and get Forest, yeah. So they can still Ugin us, potentially. Well, yeah, they can still Ugin if they find it. Wormcoil's fine, because we can bounce it. Okay, so the only thing we now lose to, I think, is a Veil of Summer. Hopefully they don't have it. So there are considerations here. We could have played Bone Crusher. Because if our opponent has Veil of Summer there, we don't lose, but it's not far off. They draw a card. We have the Rhinos. I definitely should have been suspending this at some point. I think it possibly might have come off by now. But yeah, here, if they have Veil of Summer, we could have played Bone Crusher, and then if they attack, they get a 10, and we do have enough on the crackback. But yeah, good to get the win versus Tron. Interesting match. Please do let me know if you would have done anything different. I'm not sure I navigated it entirely 100% correct, but yeah, we get the win, and we'll see you for the next round. Okay, we are on the draw here. We are against a Yorion deck. Do we want to keep this? Yeah, I think we're going to keep this. We'll Gemstone Caverns. We're going to get rid of Force, actually. We've already lost a card out of our hand to Gemstone. And against the Yorion deck, it's probably creatures. Okay, now I kind of wish we'd bottomed the a land, but I think we can just hold up here. Get our fetching done early on because we're afraid of my opponent having Leonin Arbiter. We're pretty much stomping whatever our opponent does here. Okay, red, white taxes. Yeah, Thalia's quite annoying. How afraid are we that my opponent is going to Blood Moon us? I think afraid enough that we're going to go and grab a basic island. Question is now, do we want to stomp? I think we'll let Thalia attack us. Because if my opponent plays another 1 toughness creature, Fire Ice becomes amazing. Okay, we are going to take the damage here. I was going to say the risk is that our opponent plays another Thalia. Okay, so yeah, we're happy to just stomp this now, I think. Do we just go and get another island? No, we'll go and get steam vents here. And then, yeah, we'll just stomp. Thalia is really annoying against rhinos. Obviously, my opponent could have another Thalia. Okay. So, if my opponent doesn't activate Ether Vial, I think we may bounce it in my opponent's turn. Let's see what this is. Could be another Thalia. Stoneforge Mystic. It's pretty good. Let's see what my opponent goes and gets. Could be Caldra. Okay, so we'll do this now. So we can grab a forest. Then we'll kill the Stoneforge Mystic. And then I think we're in on bouncing this. That could be wrong, but yeah, I just think that's an easy way for us to get overwhelmed there. Yeah. This Footfalls, did I have a chance to suspend that? Not really. Okay. I think here then we're just going to suspend the rhinos, play out our creatures. Must be fine. Something like a... Oh, that's pretty good as well. We'll just play out the Bone Crusher Giant. Then we can actually suspend the Footfalls as well. And then hold up this Dead and Gone. Yeah. Ether Vial, obviously bouncing that stops our opponent getting Flicker Wisp at instant speed. So this Dead Gone may be worth saving for if my opponent hardcasts Caldra, we can bounce the token. It has still got equip 7. Okay. So if our opponent puts Yorion in hand, we may choose to deadgon this. Ooh, Solitude. Okay, so we'll stomp that, I think. I mean, yeah, go and grab a mountain. It's just because it's got lifelink, that's just very annoying. Okay, another borrower is actually pretty good. We'll just pass the turn here. We could bounce the Ether Vial again. Okay, our opponent is marching towards that Caldra. So we need to save the Brazen Borrower for that. Okay, there's Yorion into hand. So we'll cast this. So we'd like to find a spell, really. We find Misty Rainforest, which isn't amazing. Okay. Opponent looking for lands, but look at it by the fact they didn't crack that. So they're going for Caldra. I mean, Yorion is still obviously amazing for them. Yeah, it looks like they're going for Yorion. Haven't found the land. So we could bounce the... So if we bounce the Prince... Oh, Prismatic Ending. Was not expecting that, if I'm honest. Yeah. So... my opponent decides to do that instead of Yorion. Have I got rhinos coming in next turn? No, it is another turn. So we could bounce this, we could bounce this, but I think we're going to want to save that potentially for a Caldra. Yeah, I think we'll just untap. That's a really bad draw. We will suspend it. Wonder if Blood Moon is something that we'll be interested in. Okay, opponent putting the Ether Vial up to 4. Okay, so they're playing a land here. Okay. I mean, we're not out of it because we are going to get to make rhinos. And they are at 9. Okay. So we're going to bounce the token here. Do we bounce the token or do we bounce the equipment? So if we bounce the token, my opponent gets to keep the Caldra around. And then they can equip here next turn. No, we have to bounce the equipment because otherwise my opponent Yorions next turn. And then they get the living weapon trigger. Yeah, for free, so. Okay, so we will fetch here, can get another island. Play Brazen Borrower. And then we will get the rhinos. This is close. I guess our opponent can Yori on us is the trouble. Now you've got some good draws. Another Brazen Borrower would be nice. Violent Outburst is also pretty good. So I don't think we want to use it now. Putting my opponent to 1 point less is not that great. Okay, so our opponent's going to get to Yorion. But yeah, Violent Outburst was a good draw because we can now make some rhinos. And then they can potentially block. How afraid are we of my opponent having Lightning Bolt? They're in red, they must have Lightning Bolt. I think we want to choose to play around Lightning Bolt. Obviously the Charming Prince hasn't really got a good attack. So if they go Caldra, attack with Caldra, we'll block, take 1. Then our opponent Yorions and we win. Let's see what my opponent does. Yeah, this was an insane draw. I mean, we had a few good draws here. Something like Fury wasn't too bad. More Brazen Borrowers were good. Dead Gone is actually pretty good. Fire Ice would have been good. Shardless Agent would have been fine. Obviously we had a load of bad draws as well. Lands or more rhinos. Kiki Jiki. Okay. Was not expecting... Oh, did we just now die? Oh no, we can't, because I was going to say they can put in Yorion, copy Yorion and we lose. But that's not the case. Okay, so they can put in Yorion. What are they going to do? So they may gain 3 life up to 9, and then they could do it again, go to 12, but then we do have enough rhinos. Okay, so they've opted to not Caldra. Okay, so they're scrying 2. I guess our opponent can actually... Yeah, because they go Yorion. They put Yorion into the field, which blinks Kiki Jiki. So they are going to get to gain a lot of life here. Which is reasonably annoying. 2 on top. Okay. So yeah, we have to let this happen. Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. I don't know what happens if they blink this. I believe it just... Yeah, oh yeah, it's just a token, isn't it? Create a token. Yeah, so that just goes. Okay, we'll see what my opponent does with these two. Okay, gaining 3 life. Okay, so our opponent can gain another 3 life. So there's no argument here for just doing this as a combat trick. Okay, so I guess we just have to hope this is good enough. I mean, again, we've got some draws that help. That is certainly one of them. So, yeah, we've drawn amazingly here, I'm not going to lie. So my opponent makes a token that's a copy of this. They go to 12. But then we could just bounce that. I think we wait for our opponent to do something. Oh yeah, so we can just do this now. What do we need to play around? Lightning Bolt doesn't really do anything. Path to Exile doesn't really do anything. Yeah, this could blink this, which is really bad. But yeah, we've just had some amazing draws here. Oh, Ephemerate does get us. Although it does stop the Kiki Jiki at least. Okay, so that's pretty good. Yeah, Ephemerate. I don't think we could have played around that. We may be in trouble here. So that whiffs. I think we're still okay. Potentially. So opponent blocks there. So this isn't dealing any. This is currently dealing 12, 13, 14, 15, and they absorb 2. Yeah, we are still okay. Just. Okay, yeah, we do get there. I mean, we had absolutely stunning draws there. We couldn't have drawn any better, I don't think. What did we draw? Violent Outburst into Brazen Borrower. Yeah, so we do successfully navigate the red-white taxes game 1. So, what do we want in this matchup? So, potentially Blood Moon. They had quite a greedy mana base. But is it that good given that our opponent is running Ether Vial? Unsure. Fury's obviously amazing. We definitely want the 2 Fire Spouts. Oh yeah, Force is pretty rubbish. They are running Ephemerate, but I don't think it's worth it just for that. Do we want to bring in Force of Vigor? I think we will actually. We'll bring in a couple for a couple of reasons. So as a floor, it hits Ether Vial. And oh no, it hits the equipment as well from Stoneforge Mystic. So that's the kind of floor. As a ceiling, if our opponent's bringing in something like Chalice of the Void, it's going to hit that. So I think we'll just go with that. We'll bring in 2. Yeah, this deck's a bit weird because I found myself bringing in Force of Vigor quite a lot, even when you wouldn't necessarily think it'd be good, because everyone at the moment is running Chalice of the Void in the side or Void Mirror. Right. what do we think about this? I think this is probably fine. We've got some redraw. We've got a redraw. We're on the draw. It's got some interaction. We're able to kill a Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe mulliganing's fine because we do have the opportunity to get Gemstone Caverns, but every time you mulligan with Gemstone Caverns, obviously, it's a bit awkward. Okay, so I think we'll just play the Tarn and pass. Go and get the Triome at the end of turn. So Field of Ruin, I guess, could indicate that our opponent doesn't have coloured mana? No. Go and get captured Triome. Okay. Play this, say go. We'll see if my opponent wants to activate Ether Vial. If they don't, we might bounce it. Bounce it in their upkeep step. Yeah, I think we're happy to bounce it. We've got a lot of these bounce type effects. It's just an easy way for my opponent to really pull ahead on mana. You know, playing Field of Ruin first may indicate that they didn't have a lot of land in hand. You know, we just don't want them double spelling, really. Okay, sure. That is a 1/4. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Okay, so what are we going to do? I think we're just shocking the Steam Vent. Yeah, 1/4. Obviously a little bit annoying, but yeah, attack for 1. Opponent could field us here. Okay. So go and grab a forest here. Okay, Thalia. So so we could Fire Ice to kill this. We didn't actually see my opponent playing many many 1 toughness creatures. Maybe we just play this to get the clock going. No, I think, yeah, we're gonna, well, we can't double spell anyway. Yeah, I think getting some stuff going is probably fine. This being a 1/4 is pretty insane. Okay, we haven't drawn any spells. So we'll play a Foothills, and then, yeah, we'll go to combat and attack. Next turn we can actually just hardcast Fury, so wait and see what my opponent does here. we're going to let our opponent attack, take 3. Yeah, because then if they have another Thalia in hand, they can't play it. I think this is possibly hurting our opponent more than me at the moment. Yeah, obviously if this was a 1-3, this would be so much better because we could Fury and kill everything. But at the moment I'm inclined to leave this around. Okay, that's an Ether Vial. And puts Yorion into their hand. So yeah, now I think we're just going to... yeah, let's just fire, kill this. Deal my opponent 1. Well, he could have just flashed in a Brazen Borrower there. Let's go and grab let's grab a Stomping Ground. Mind drawing some spells. Yeah, Prismari Command's good. Okay, so if my opponent... if my opponent goes Yorion, how much do we care? The answer's probably not that much. We are going to Prismari Command to destroy this. I think we'll draw 2, discard 2 actually. We could have, yeah, we could have Furied there, kill this and then... But I think this is actually doing us quite a favour. Sword of Fire, Ice. Okay, that's a problem. That is a problem. Although now I guess we're just gonna... We'll destroy... So we could bounce... Oh, we can't bounce this now. Okay, so... so can't ephemerate. So let's go... destroy target artifact. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll destroy the sword. Yeah, there's some good ones. Yeah, so we'll get rid of the lands. I think we've got enough lands. I mean, we're winning this race. I think we're I think we're now just kind of on the tempo plan. I think we're going to bounce our opponent's Ether Vial. Let's attack. Yeah, so we'll Petty Theft this again. Pass the turn. And then our opponent's actually dead next turn. Because we can go Brazen Borrow at the end of theirs. And then Fire Ice or Stomp for the last 2 points. This Eidolon of Rhetoric is really really hurting our opponent, I think. you know, we're happy to play one spell in our turn, one spell in theirs. It does shut off our rhinos, but we're just beating them to death with these flyers. So if our opponent just goes Yori on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and doesn't have anything else, then yeah, I think we're just smooth sailing. Because we can go end of turn, flash in this Brazen Borrower, untap, tap down their Yorion, attack for 6. Okay, so we'll add blue, I guess. Might be trying to take us off blue, but I'm afraid they will be sadly disappointed. Five mana left. Okay, so we'll go and get a mountain with this one, I think. I mean, yeah, we can't cast more than one spell anyway. Opponent attacks. Opponent possibly trying to bait something from us. Yeah, that Prismari command is just insane. Definitely want to be playing some number of those in the main. I think that card's really good. Like just the selection there to ditch 2 lands, that was close. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is absolutely fine now. We just win the game. Yeah, this Eidolon of Rhetoric has really hurt my opponent. Because they just can't get their creatures out fast enough, and we're happy to just sit here tempoing them out. Deputy Detention, sure. It's just going to be too slow, I'm afraid. We'll play this. Yeah, another copy of Fire Ice. Stomp. Yeah, did it without the rhinos that turn. Yeah, GG's. Okay, well, no rhinos in that one, all Brazen Borrowers. Yeah, they're 3/1s with flash, so this card's really good. Okay, so yeah, we're 2-0. See you for the next round. Okay, let's run the play for round number 3. Yeah, this hand is good if we can find a 3rd land against the Lurus deck. We'll open with the Triome, because then we'll have interaction up on turn 2 if we need it. I think Forcing Bauble is probably a bit aggressive there. Okay, Polluted Delta. Grixis Shadow has been making a bit of a comeback. Okay, Ragavan. So yeah, we're not going to let that hit us next turn. That's a bad draw. So yeah, we're not going to play that. We're just going to bounce this, I think. No, we don't want to get an island here. We'll get Steam Vents because this needs. Then if we get an island, then we draw another basic island. We can't Violent Outburst. Yeah, we're not going to let this hit us here. Especially if my opponent, if my opponent doesn't have another land. Thoughtseize is gross. Yeah, taking Violent Outburst. Do they have another land? They do. Yeah, so we're really going to need something here. Yeah, this is Grixis something. Okay, that's actually pretty good. How afraid are we that my opponent plays Counterspell? I think we will, given my opponent's lands as well. They haven't actually got double blue presently. So doing this way to avoid a dashed Ragavan. Because if we stomp to play around Counterspell, my opponent could then dash another Ragavan. Obviously, we really want to find another land. Opponent puts Lurus in their hand. More Bone Crusher Giants. We could suspend a Footfalls. I think we'll suspend a Footfalls. Because then if my opponent goes Lurus, Ragavan, we can then Fury, pitch Bone Crusher, kill it. Kill them both. Okay, opponent deciding that's not the play they want to make. Okay, another Brazen Borrower. Do we just suspend another Footfalls? No, we don't actually. I don't. Well, no, I think we're just going to pass. Because maybe our opponent is possibly trying to lure us and then dash Ragavan. Yeah, not finding lands here has been pretty brutal. Okay, there's Lurus, and then we're going to see a dashed Ragavan. Okay, so what's the play here? We could return this to our opponent's hand. How much do we care about being hit with this? Like, it makes my opponent a treasure. They probably won't be able to cast a spell. So we could stomp Ragavan and then untap and bounce this. Or we could just bounce Ragavan. I think we're going to let this hit us. I think we're going to... our opponent's unlikely to be able to play anything they find off the top. Okay, well, to be fair, we don't mind them hitting that. We kind of didn't want to draw that. So yeah, we're just going to stomp here. Can't let Lurus live, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just too good. Okay. We are, we are marching down towards rhinos. Okay. Unfortunately, yeah, we're not drawing too much. We'll probably, we could ice the Ragavan if it's dashed. How long till the rhinos come off? 2 turns. I think we are just going to fire it. Yeah, so just kill that, fire this. Might as well deal our opponent 1. We will force a counter spell here. Looks Looks like my opponent's flooded a bit, while we're obviously mana screwed. Opponent might have a load of fatal pushes in hand. Okay, we do finally find our land, but yeah, given that, I think we can just afford to wait now for Brazen Borrower end of turn. My opponent is at 10, and we do run a reasonable amount of burn in our deck. Looks like our opponent might be massively flooded. So yeah, this time we will just go and grab an island. Flash in this Brazen Borrower. You know, I'm fully expecting this to get lightning bolted, fatal pushed, terminated, unholy heat. The list kind of goes on of the removal spells my opponent could have for Brazen Borrower. Indeed, it is a lightning bolt. Not surprising because lightning bolt doesn't kill the rhinos. Yeah, we'll make some 4/4s. Do we want to shock that in? Not particularly. I think we'll cast Bone Crusher. You know, that actually puts lethal on the table. Yeah, opponent's got a fistful of removal spells, but we do get to 2 for 1 them. And Bone Crusher is a 4/3 with a relevant ability, given that my opponent's at 10 life. Probably shouldn't auto yield, given that we've got this Force of Negation. We could have held another line we could have taken there was holding up Force, hardcast Force for one of the Unholy Heats. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, I think that's fine. Oh, Thoughtseize. I mean, we could force that, but I think this is probably fine. Like, they might be on... no, they're not on Murktide Regent, so... Let's just put them to 8. You know, we've got a reasonable amount of power. Okay, opponent takes the Fury. I mean, we're not bouncing Snapcaster Mage. This is lethal in 2 turns. We draw another Fury. So yeah, we'll attack with this. Okay. That will deal you 2. Play another one. And I mean, suspending a rhinos for good measure isn't bad. Can't think of much we'd want to force here. Something like an unearth. I think we will go ahead and force that though. He says, I can't think of much we want to force here. Expressive Iteration is definitely something we want to force. It's just so good. It's at this point, it's just draw 3 cards. Okay, we find a land, so how in on just furying are we? Yeah, I think we're in on that. Again, we'll grab a forest this time. Cast this Fury. Dealing 4 to Snapcaster Mage obviously isn't amazing, but I mean, if this connects, it means that my opponent just will really struggle to kill this Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, another iteration's pretty good. See what my opponent exiles. This card is really, really good. Unfortunately, yeah, we can't play it. Almost wish it was a 3 mana. Okay, drown, but they can't drown. They can drown the Fury, but they can't drown Bone Crusher Giant. Again, this is another matchup where we haven't, you know, the Rhinos, all they traded for 2 Unholy Heats out of my opponent's hand. But, you know, between Bone Crusher and Brazen Borrower, I mean, my opponent's done a lot of damage to themselves as well. What they've thought seized us twice, fetches and shocks and the rest of it. Okay, so they're going to drown the Fury. They may have something like Snapcaster Mage, I guess. Or something like yeah, Ragavan to block. Maybe they're wondering if they should be dashing Ragavan. If they have Ragavan, I think they probably should dash it. I think, you know, playing it as a blocker is just delaying the inevitable. Whereas they could hit, they dash Ragavan, they could hit. Well, again, it's hard. I guess they could hit Shardless Agent. Okay, so I'm casting Kolaghan's Command there, returning Snapcaster Mage. So Snapcaster Mage is just used as a blocker here. What was the other mode? Oh, yeah, dealing me 2 damage. Guess they didn't want to put it in my draw step. So yeah, we'll just swing in with Bone Crusher here. When are our Rhinos coming off? 2 turns. Okay. Yeah, Kolaghan's Command, then obviously an excellent card. Can I think? No, I think we'll hold on to the Footfalls in case we draw a Prismari Command. Actually, saying that, Prismari Command would obviously just go to face at this point. Okay, that's another blocker. But it does attack each combat. Okay, well, we'll attack. Have we got any Crashing Footfalls left? Okay, so that trades. And then we'll just make some more Rhinos now before my opponent can draw a counter spell. Not sure what my opponent's digging for. Yeah, opponent found a lot of land there. In a lot of situations, Mana Screw beats Mana Flood. And we do get there. Here, just consulting this sideboard guide again, which is actually really good, and it does have this matchup. So suggesting 3 Blood Moon, which I can kind of see. 2 Fire Spouts if it's not Shadow. And then possibly some Disputes. Taking out 2 Furies. Force Negation doesn't really do anything for us here. And then I'm taking out Dead Gone. I quite like the idea of Dead Gone killing. Well, it doesn't kill. Yeah, I think I'll use some of my own judgment. So Fury was actually pretty good there. Blood Moon, they are quite heavily red. Do you really want that amount of Blood Moons? Mystical Dispute I could see potentially. They're running Snapcaster Mages. Everything else is pretty good. So let's split a difference. Let's take out one of those. Bring in another Dispute and an Endurance. Endurance is good against Snapcaster Mage, Kolaghan's Command, Lurus. Actually, I think I've read the sideboard guide wrong, and they do usually bring in 3 Endurance, so probably should be bringing in Endurance here. Yeah. But we'll do that for game 3. Yeah, that's just my mistake. I'll link it below and you can see what I mean. Okay, so we'll mulligan this one lander. We will keep this, I think. We'll put a Rhinos on the bottom and then we'll Gemstone Cap. Right. If anyone is playing Modo with this deck, I've done this so many times, and this will be the first time I actually get it right. If you have 2 Gemstone Caverns in your opening hand, you might press 1, put it onto the battlefield, and then press the other as the card to discard. But you have to press OK and then exile it. I've put 2 Gemstone Caverns so many times, and then you have to exile cards from your hand, and it can just be game over there. Like, yeah, it's just horrid. But yeah, thankfully, managing to navigate it right this time. We could be getting Thoughtseized here. Inquisition. Obviously we can't play Veil of Summer. Would imagine my opponent will... They take Footfalls. Okay. A little bit surprised at that, I guess, but... Fury's a good late game card. What do... I think I'm just going to ice this. I want to draw cards, essentially. We're not too afraid of like something blue that we have to counter. This means that my opponent can't dash Ragavan. Another Inquisition. Yeah, that was the right choice. Takes the dispute. They have to at that point. So yeah, Blood Moon wouldn't be too bad actually. Oh, they've got engineered explosives as well. Okay. I think we'll just pass with Prismari Command up. Bauble, sure. If nothing else, we'll draw 2, discard 2. Seal of Removal. Yeah, that's pretty good as well. Okay, so yeah, we could create a treasure token, to be fair. Yeah. We definitely... No, let's create a treasure token. So 2 damage. Yeah, so we'll create a treasure, destroy this. Let's just cast Fury. Okay, so we could cast Fury now, but I think we'll wait until we can get some sort of value from it. Opponent's mana screwed at the moment this game. Okay, that's obviously a really good draw. We've top decked well in this league. Opponent could have counterspell. Okay, yeah, drown the lock. That's pretty good. We do still get Shardless Agent. Pretty sure my opponent won't use the the Seal of Removal on my Shardless Agent. Okay, so we find a Misty Rainforest. Start beating down with this, I guess. We'll save the land in case my opponent plays Kolaghan's Command at some point. But yeah, I think we'll keep Fury just as a a removal spell for Lurrus or Ragavan or any of the creatures they play, really. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, now we'll play out a land. We haven't got at least one Blood Moon in our deck. We've got 2 Blood Moons. Yeah, I think we definitely want to bring in Endurance here, because like just a flash 3/4 isn't bad. Okay, so I'm actually going to fetch basic island here, because if we don't actually mind drawing the Triome at the moment. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just pass the turn. Not sure how interested we are in just flashing that in. Okay, opponent does find a land. I think we're fine actually, so we'll petty theft that. Just makes my opponent's mana a little bit harder next turn, and if they want to return our Brazen Borrower, I think that's fine. Get some pressure on the field. Okay, looks like my opponent has Fatal Push. But got to grind through them at some point anyway. So yeah, we'd like to draw Violent Outburst would be really nice. Colligan's Command could be. Yeah, that's why we hold the lands. Ooh, there's the Endurance. Okay. I think we'll just hold. Don't think there's any real reason to. Ooh, Iteration's good. Yeah, Iteration's very good. Okay, so they hit a land. There's the seal. Do we go for Endurance? The question. I think so. I think I'm happy to go for that here. Like 3 power creature, doesn't die to lightning bolt. Well, we'll suspend that. Maybe we're meant to just Fury now. I think we might be. Does this have to deal damage? Okay, yeah, so but we could deal itself some damage. So if we put lethal onto the field, I mean, our opponent's going to have to make a blocker. I think we'll wait. Could be sold either way on this one. Again, do let me know if that's something you do differently. If my opponent chooses to bounce it, we can play it again with the treasure token. Okay, so I do get to dash Ragavan here, which is pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff in our deck. If only Fury had haste, had flash, that would be pretty ridiculous. Okay, just a Scalding Tarn, so good to get that out of our deck. Oh, that's obviously very frustrating. Yeah, we should have just played it. Yeah. Yeah, I should have just played that. Yeah, that seems real good though. Let's go for it. I mean, it stops us casting Endurance again, but I guess my opponent does have Ragavan in hand, which does make treasure. But we've got 3 turns before the rhinos come in. You are welcome to cast Fire Spout. Ooh, Iteration is pretty good. Yeah, it's close, this one. We've got some very good draws still. Violent Outburst, Shardless Agent, Bone Crusher Giant would actually be really good. Yeah, all of those are good. Okay, opponent draws a card. Okay, they are Seal of Removaling. Okay, we draw another island, which do we want to keep that in hand? Probably just represent the unknown, I guess. Trouble is, this our opponent's Ragavan is pretty. It's doing good work for them. Yeah, maybe this Blood Moon is similar to the that creature that only let us cast 1 spell per turn last game. Don't know if our Blood Moon is hurting us more. I mean, as soon as we find a way to kill this Ragavan. Oh, Bone Crusher Giant. Well, that's very annoying. Opponent can stomp us and then Bone Crusher, which is obviously amazing. Yeah, that's exactly the draw we wanted. Hopefully our luck hasn't run out here. But Brazen Borrower now an excellent draw. Fire Ice not bad actually. Okay, we'll play the land and pass. Question is, are we tapping? How long until our rhinos? So our rhinos are coming in next turn. Okay, so do we want to tap this, draw a card? No, I think we're in for just killing it. And we get to deal our opponent 1. And we do get to make some rhinos next turn. Obviously this potentially stops my opponent getting the mana to counter our rhinos as well. Yeah, we got some very good draws. Ooh, Iteration's pretty good. I mean, yeah, this Blood Moon is stopping Lurus, which is which is obviously very good. So, yeah, good draws. Prismari Command, our own Bone Crusher Giant would be great. Violent Outburst, Shardless Agent, all very good. Another land is really not what we want. So the question is, are we blocking, I suppose? The answer is probably. Yeah, opponent attacks. We do have to block, I think. Okay, so potential to put our opponent to 1 here. Yeah, really would like to land there. Not a land. Yeah, pretty much anything other than a land, I think. With the exception, well, I mean, more Blood Moons aren't great. Opponent could have Dash, Ragavan, and Bolt. Or what else could they have? Puts Lyrus into their hand. Okay, so they can't play Colligan's Command. They can kill the Rhino. That's a good draw. Yeah, okay, so we will just go to combat. Unholy Heat is good enough, I think. Lightning Bolt me. Please don't Lightning Bolt me again. Hey, we get there. Okay. Blood Moon did actually do a great deal of work there. Don't know what my opponent had in hand, but yeah, it was touch and go for a bit, but happy with that. Yeah, we're on 3-0. See you for the next round. Okay, this is round number 4. Yeah, I think it's difficult, but I think we can just about keep this. It's got some interaction. It's got a rhinos that we can suspend. Basic Mountain, Swifty. Okay, can't do anything about that. Yeah, I feel like the we haven't seen much burn, but I feel like the matchup might be pretty hard. Yeah, I think I think we'll shock here. Maybe that's wrong. I've got a force, but next turn probably looks like Bone. It depends what they play. If they play like an Eidolon. Okay. So we could kill both of those with Fury, which is probably what we're doing. Okay, suspends a Rift Bolt. Okay, Mountain's pretty good. Okay, so we'll just play out the island here. And then, yeah, we'll evoke this. Exile Bone Crusher. Again, on Moda, you want to make sure that you've got these absolutely right before you hit OK. I've dealt weird amounts of damage before. So yeah, we'll kill that. I don't think we're going to be interested in forcing this Rift Bolt. Okay, so this is actually prowess, isn't it? Well, no, Fiery Islet can be just burn, actually. Yeah, it's burn, Goblin Guide. Lightning Bolt. Ugh, Eidolon, sure. So yeah, we're gonna have to borrow that, unfortunately. Okay, Dead Golem's a good draw. Like, we're not far from stabilizing, but yeah, we'll kill this. But you have to take 2 from that. Don't really want to have to go down a life. This is probably fetching a basic anyway. Like mountains they go. Okay, I think we do have to fetch. Like, we need the island. If my opponent goes bolt now, then they've got it. Maybe they're going to a fiery islet, which would make sense. Or they've just got Helix or whatever. Okay, sure. Yeah, we couldn't have played around that. Okay, so burn, not something we see that much anymore. Really don't have too much of a sideboard against it. I guess we just need to concentrate on making fast rhinos, but is there anything like Brazen Borrower isn't amazing here, I guess. Blood Moon can be good against burn. I think we'll probably want the disputes in and probably some fire spouts. Force of Vigor kills Eidolon. Let's bring in the fire spouts. Then we want all these cards, I think. Fury is good there. Let's bring in some Blood Moons. I think Prismari Command might be a little slow. Let's do that. See how that works. Obviously, Dispute can be good if we can counter 1 or 2. If we can counter a spell with it, obviously that's really good. Yeah. So I think we're after very fast rhinos and then just kind of countering a couple of spells. So this, if we find a land, this is really, if we find 2 lands off the top, that's really good, but I don't think we can keep a 1-lander. Same with this. Yeah, that's really annoying. Okay, this is fine. So we'll keep this. We'll bottom a Fire Ice and a Bone Crusher. Then we've got that early interaction, and we've got a Cascader. Opponent kept 7, of course. Yeah, there's a Swift Spear. So I think we're just all in on. Yeah, we can just stomp that. Yeah, I'm just going to stomp that now. Is it worth stomping that? Eidolon is quite a lot better, but get to 1 lander by the look of it. Okay, force isn't too bad. Let's fetch now. We'll grab an island. Okay, opponent finds a land. If they play Eidolon, if they attack, obviously we're going to make some rhinos. I think we're probably blocking. Like our opponent wants to spend that many spells killing our rhinos. I think that's probably fine. I guess it only takes a bolt, but we will block here. Sure, Eidolon is fine. Yeah, that's pretty good as well. I guess the question is, do we actually want to kill this Eidolon? Could just play Bone Crusher, actually. Yeah, that's lethal next turn. Like, it deals us 2, but we've got the Force. And any spells my opponent casts obviously trigger the Eidolon. Opponent is playing Lurus. Helix. So we'll let them take some damage. They take a lot of damage there, to be fair. I mean, we could just force this. Yeah. We'll take 2 from the Eidolon. We are empty-handed, but best form of card advantage is killing your opponent when they have cards in their hand. Okay, so we get there. Obviously we had a very good hand and my opponent stumbled on lands for the first turn or 2. Right, on the... So they are running Helix and Eidolon. Let's go with this. Yeah, see, we quite like Gemstone Caverns in our opener. That is a Gemstone Caverns. So yeah, I think we can keep this. So do that. And we're going to get rid of the Footfalls. There's no way that's coming off Suspend. Got 2 removal spells. Goblin Guide. Okay. Okay, finds us a land. Quite a good land as well. Okay, that's really good. That's a really good draw. Let's see. So the only consideration is obviously we want to let this trigger so that we get we potentially get a land from it. But the only consideration is if my opponent goes Boros Charm. Okay, another guide. Okay, we find a land. 2 lands. So, yeah, then we're just going to stomp one of these. Take as little damage as possible. Take 2, go to 16. Opponent got 4 cards in hand. Suspends a Rift Bolt, sure. Okay, so not doing too bad. Yeah, so if you want a lot of land, but a lot of it was from the Goblin guy, which is nice. So we can just play the basic here and pass. And then obviously we're going to make 2 rhinos. So we're essentially at 13. We could dispute the Rift Bolt. I don't think we're in on doing that. We just want to make rhinos. Okay. Will we see an attack? No attacks. I guess my opponent knows that we've got something, given that we didn't cast that Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, well we will Violent Outburst. Okay, opponent's had a lot of stuff in hand, obviously. There's another bolt. Okay, we are at 4. And our opponent does have some stuff. Okay, so we don't want to lose any more life. Oh, we haven't drawn any spells, which is pretty bad. So if we... So we'll play a land. Right, so we're at 4 life. If we attack with both of these and then play Bone Crusher, attack with both of these, play Bone Crusher, where then my opponent needs to have exactly Boros Charm if they draw a land or 2 burn spells, which they could do. Or we could attack with 1, put my opponent to 10, and then hold up Dispute. This is difficult. So if we attack with 1, put my opponent to 10, we can then dispute whatever they play, and then next turn we could Fire, Ice and kill them. I think that's the play, actually. I think we just want to hold up mana here. I mean, we could attack with everything. What if we attack with everything and then dispute instead of playing Bone Crusher? So we attack with everything. Let's say my opponent draws Boros Charm, or any burn spell. If they draw a Lightning Bolt, they can bolt us, but then they can't play. If they find a land, they play the land. I think we just want to hold up Dispute here. But how many? I definitely attack with 1 Rhino. Do I attack with both Rhinos? Both Rhinos puts my opponent to 6. They attack back. I think 1 though, because then they have to have exactly Boros Charm. We need to have them dead next turn. This will put them to 10, and then we can attack. But then if my opponent blocks... this is difficult. I think if I attack with both, what's the difference? I don't think there's much difference between attacking with 1 and attacking with both here. The only difference is if my opponent finds... I think we're just attacking with both, actually. We attack with both, and then my opponent's definitely dead next turn, and then we've got the counter spell. It's counter unless they pay 3. Yeah, I think we're attacking with both here. Okay. Obviously the other option is to kill this. We could just play Bone Crusher. What if my opponent attacks, plays a land, or they bolt us? No, I think this is fine. I think we hold up now. I think we can just hold up. Obviously a force would have been nice to have. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Do let me know if you'd have done anything different. Okay. Blood Moon. Okay, they draw a land, so yeah, we win. Not cracking that for a bolt? I mean, that's odd. Right? Like they could crack. They crack Sunbait Canyon, they could find Lightning Bolt. But there we go. I think we navigated that fine. So yeah, we go on to 4-0. Rhino's getting there against Burn. See you for round number 5, playing for the 5-0.